I discovered a decade-old family secret, and it ruined me.
Are you adopted?
I'm 39 years old. I was born in Europe and moved to a different country when I was about 3 years old with my mom after my parents divorced. They had been married for well over 10 years. I never knew my father because my mom hated talking about him. I heard there was cheating involved and that he didn't want to pay alimony. By the way, this comes from Cheap Data 6089, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I thought you were going to do the whole thing with me.
No. Just a second.
And Opie says, she had a really hard time raising me on her own, and I've always felt very bad for her. I've been giving her my salary since I started working after finishing high school up until today, just to help out. She's now 70 years old and can't work, so I always do my best to be there for her in any way possible. 14 years ago, I got a message on Facebook from someone carrying my last name. She said she was my sister from another mother and that she would love to speak with me.
Come on, missed opportunity. Sister from another mister.
Hey,
Duh. What are you doing?
I told my mom, and she immediately got upset and told me not to answer her. So I didn't. My uncle was aware of this and was really interested in me speaking with my father, but my mom got super upset and told him it wasn't his place. We left it at that.
Bro, where's your rebellious streak?
Fast forward to this morning. I wake up and my uncle sends me a screenshot from my sister's Facebook page mourning the passing of our father. I called my uncle and said, wow, what news? I never got to meet or speak with him, and now I'll never have that opportunity either. It was sad. I was crying a little bit, not because I was sad that I don't have a father anymore, or because I never had a father figure in my life, but because of the disappointment. He never called me, never wished me a happy birthday, nothing. It was just a very disappointing moment. Then my uncle threw something shocking at me. He said, I have to check if he was even my biological father. I asked him where that came from. He didn't really know what to say. He just mentioned that my sister once said something about it and he wasn't sure. I decided that the best thing to do, against my mother's wishes, was to send a message to my sister and speak with her.
See, again, you're 39. You don't need to go, Mother, may I? You can just do it. You're 39.
Mother, may I reach out to my sister?
Mother, who's probably now, given the context of the story,
She's
been
70.
lying to me my entire life about who my father is.
Mother?
Can I talk to somebody?
Who do we think it is?
Greg.
Yes.
That dude was laying it down.
Greg.
All the time, back in the 80s.
Greg on that dance floor? Woo!
Evacuate.
Evacuate the dance floor. She answered me right away. I asked her if we could talk, and I called her. Mind you, I had never spoken with her in my entire life, and she lives on the other side of the world. We were both crying on the phone to one another. She was crying because she was very close to him and just lost him. I cried because of the whole emotion around speaking with her. Never having him in my life, the whole roller coaster of emotions. She was very mature and told me it was a delicate topic when I mentioned how disappointed I was in him. She asked me what I knew. I just told her I knew that he wasn't around and that was it. She told me to basically speak with my mother again to get all the answers. I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I told her she could tell me what I was unaware of. She said that he's basically not my biological father, and that's why he was not interested in having me around.
Unbelievably cruel of your terrible mother to keep this information from you and instead let you think your father was just neglecting you your whole life. Very bad on her part. I'm sure your mom has redeemable qualities, but that is the most selfish, damaging thing I can think of.
That's after you're like mourning his and everything too, or mourning his passing.
And it's not like, oh, we can't tell. You're 40, 39, but you're old enough. You're old enough to be told the truth. You should have been told decades ago. And that's 100% on your mom. And honestly, like, I don't know.
I'm curious about the how they live on opposite sides of the world too.
Yeah.
Like, did you move or did you guys like?
Did you move or did they move? And like,
or was it literally just like your mom used to live there and you never did?
there was no one around to tell you the truth either. Like,
Sounds like Uncle knew the whole time too. She told me that when they were together, they were unable to get pregnant, and my mother had an affair with someone who worked for him. That person is my biological father. I've been crying for hours now because my mom never said anything to me, and she probably never will either. It's funny because we always wondered where I got my light eyes from, as both parents have brown eyes and I got green eyes, but I still don't know if this is actually true. She said that after I was born, he stopped paying alimony once he found out. It's supposedly written in some record somewhere with an attorney that already passed away, but nobody knows where that record is these days. However, on the birth certificate, he's written as my father. If it's true, it would make a lot of sense as to why my mother hated talking about him. She was hiding that he's not my biological father. If it's not true and he is my biological father and they got it wrong all these years, then I just know that my mom didn't want anything to do with him. The problem is I'll never get the answers from my mother. I can't even tell her I know all this because she gets upset at every little thing and stops talking to everyone if she doesn't like something.
dude, your mom sucks. I can say that because she's not my mom. But your mom sucks.
She's done that to me many times in my life, and I don't think I can bear having that happen again.
That's emotional abuse.
She's already older, so I don't want to make her that upset. But it's a really messed up situation, and now I'm just sitting here trying to understand if I had a father that didn't care for me, or if I don't know who the heck my father is. And we have an update.
You need to confront your mother. I don't care how upset she would get. At whatever level of upset she'd be, it would be 1000% her own fault for having hid the truth from you your entire life instead of telling you who your actual father is. How selfish and horrible of her to make you think you've been neglected by your father your whole life. And you don't even know who your father is. She probably kept him out of your life as well to maintain the illusion.
I think I'd go to Uncle first and be like, hey, listen, I know some things. I know you know some things. I'm going to my mom. Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Tell me everything. I'll keep your name out of it.
Gather as much info as possible so you can be like, I know this. You cannot fool me. I know this is a thing. I know it's a fact. Tell me what's going on. And if you don't tell me, I'm cutting you out. Boom. Take control of the situation.
We have an update. You got anything else? Yes. Update. My entire life, I believed one man was my father.
But it was two men.
Even though he wasn't in my life, I grew up with stories about him being successful and wealthy, that he once gave my mom a glamorous life before their divorce. I always clung to those stories because my real upbringing with my mom was financially hard and unstable. Growing up, I had all their wedding and family photos. I looked at his face for years. In my mind, he never aged because I only saw him frozen in those pictures. That image was always the anchor for where I came from, even if we didn't have a relationship. Alongside the glamorous stories, my mom also told me there were a lot of hardships in that marriage. She never went into detailed stories, but she always bashed him and said he was horrible to her behind closed doors. So I grew up with this strange mix. A father I imagined as successful and impressive, but who was also painted as a monster in many ways. Supposedly the man I grew up believing was my father only gave me his last name so I wouldn't grow up with a different last name. This completely shattered me. The man I thought abandoned me may not have been my father at all, and now I may never know who my real biological father is. Here's another layer. My husband had actually reached out to who I thought was my sister about 3 months ago while we were visiting family overseas. I didn't know this at the time. He decided we should have a relationship or acknowledgement of some sort, so he messaged her without telling me. Once I finally spoke with her myself about the passing, I later shared the news with him. And that's when he admitted that he had known for months. She had shared with him the same news months ago. He said he hadn't been able to carry it much longer and felt relieved that it was finally out in the open. He was too afraid to tell me as it was such a sensitive topic.
Then why'd you go digging? Why'd you go digging, my guy? You should have said that. Everyone is like letting you down right now, OP. Why would your husband not tell you? Wow, this is unbelievable.
Also, I went back and checked. We don't know if OP's male or female, right?
I
It didn't say it at the
don't
beginning.
think so.
It just said I'm 35 or 39.
Why would you do that? Like, imagine you find out Keon's dad's not his dad. How long do you keep that a secret from him?
I don't even think I'd go reaching out to his family without him knowing.
Yeah, you would.
That's already like a giant past boundaries.
Yeah, you'd be in the loop. He would be in the loop. Why were you not in the loop?
Especially because if your husband comes out and is like, I don't want you to do that, you don't do it. Like, that's weird to go just their family. When it came time to face my mom, I couldn't bring myself to ask her directly. I've always been scared to confront her because she gets upset about everything, twists conversations, and always puts herself in the victim role. So my husband took the step and asked her on my behalf. Her response was heartbreaking. As soon as they hung up, she called me immediately. She cried, got upset, and then said she doesn't know. She said maybe, could be, I don't think so. No clear answer. Instead, she turned it into how we do things behind her back, claiming that I don't love her, that I embarrassed her and myself, that I have no compassion. Yeah, your mom sucks. She told me things like, you don't have a mother anymore, threatened to sell her apartment and move away, and said she wants no relationship with my husband at all moving forward. I tried to explain my part, but nothing helped. I tried to tell her that I wanted to know my identity, where I came from, but she was too focused on herself.
Oh, OP, you sweet thing. You're just trapped in the cycle.
She said my husband came to her all strong and fierce, which he told me he didn't. I gave her a few hours and then texted her that I love her and that I'm sorry she feels this way. I really tried to show compassion, even though I was very hurt myself and felt like she wasn't considering me, what I need, or what I want to clarify. But it still didn't get through to her. She said she will need my help with doctor's appointments and other things that she's too old to handle, but that would be it in terms of communication. Can you imagine being like, I refuse to talk to you anymore. You're not my child anymore, but I'm a little too old to schedule my doctor's appointments. So like we are going to talk for those things, but nothing else.
You don't have a mother anymore. You have an elderly Medicare client that you need to set appointments for.
It's almost like maybe we should just get you someone that can help with that then, because I'm not your kid anymore. You said it, not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, uncle, your brother can help you. Someone else can help you. I'm not going to help you with anything. You can have somebody else help you.
I feel devastated. I may never know the truth about who my biological father is. DNA test?
Can't we just do a test for that?
So you're only going to know the results, though, if your father or someone related to your father has also done the test and it's in the database. There was like a big spurt, though, of everybody doing those tests, so I feel like you got like semi-good odds, maybe.
I still never did one of those.
I've never done one.
Boom. They can't get us.
My mom won't talk about it and seems more focused on being the victim than supporting me. She uses silence as punishment and acts as if I committed a crime for even asking. Prior to posting this, she texted me to say I must tell my husband never to contact her again. She claimed that we had made fun of her for months while she cooked for us and did everything with love, and that we were laughing behind her back, which isn't true. I told her already that I had no idea my husband had spoken to her months ago. She repeated again that between me and her, there should only be basic contact. Help when she needs something, and maybe the occasional good morning or good night. This is devastating because we have always been close, and I used to share everything with her.
It's just so clearly like one of the most toxic relationships. And I guarantee you, if you actually decide to be the one to cut everything off, she will come scrambling back to you. She will beg and plead and cry and moan and yell and she'll do anything to try to get you to come back, because now that wasn't her decision. She didn't have the power. You had the power. You took it back. And as soon as you take the power away from her, she can't stand it. But I don't know. I really think that you need to go no contact with your mother if this is how she's going to react to having lied to you for the entirety of your life, and then now it's your fault and you're the bad one.
Yeah, I agree. Don't just keep contact to like make her medical appointments.
Yeah. No, her brother can do that. Someone else can do that. she can hire a service to do it.
She told me that one day I'll regret all of this and she will never forgive us, and that she wants to live alone with no connection to us. By the way, you can always have a connection with us because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. I feel devastated and heartbroken. I may never know the truth about who my biological father is. My mom refuses to talk about it and has now pulled away from me almost completely. I ordered a DNA test. I don't know if it'll show me any clarity, as both men are almost from the same area in Europe, so I am more focused about her now. My question is, how do I move forward from here?
Therapy.
I know how stubborn she can be, and if she exes someone from her life, there is no second chances. That's the end of that story.
I exposed my dad's affairs to protect my mom, but she turned on me instead.
How dare you tell me about the affairs?
I am 18, female, living with my parents and my 3 siblings, 16 female, 14 male, and 9 male, and my dad's mother. My parents have always been strict, and I always felt they were too harsh. They never understood me or respected my privacy. I can't move out even after turning 18 because it isn't normal in our family, and I'm not capable of doing so anyway. Well, if that's the case, then honestly, it doesn't really matter if you're allowed to or not, because you can't. But if you want to, you should work to get to the point where you can. By the way, this comes from user MaryDark22, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, my dad is the head of our family. I am the legs. My mother is the arms. And my siblings are the internal organs. Everyone respects my dad and fears him because he's always been strict and stubborn in his decisions.
Respect and fear. Great combination.
A great way to rule. We couldn't say no to him. My mother is the kind of woman with the mindset that her husband is everything for her. Even though she is soft sometimes, she obeys whatever my dad tells her. It's clear that she loves him, or she wouldn't be working so hard every day to raise 4 kids and take care of her annoying mother-in-law who has dementia and a crappy personality. Oh, that's just really sad. I just want to make it clear that even though my parents are strict, controlling, and overprotective, they love all of us very much and deeply care for us, even if they're not the ones to say it themselves. Now that you know the family dynamic, here's what happened. In 2023, I was going through my dad's phone. He had 2 WhatsApps, the normal one and the business one, which he uses because he's a businessman and owns a company. I opened the business WhatsApp and it was password protected. I got more curious, and since most of his passwords were the same, I tried it and unlocked it. Just to be clear, I was on his phone because in our house, we were never allowed phones. I got my first and current phone at 18, so I was using my dad's at the time. In the WhatsApp, there were some normal texts regarding work, but the one on top had a Malaysian girl's picture, and the name was saved with a heart. I opened the chat and read it back in horror, holding back gags. The girl had sent my dad spicy photos and videos. There were flirting texts, a lot of them, and it had been going on for months. That's pretty rough to find as a teen. I think I would maybe just take my dad's phone and slam it into the ground and be like, Dad, I dropped your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on it. I dropped it. I don't want to deal with that. I had a rush of anxiety. I put his phone back, ran to my room, and cried for hours. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to tell my mother. I got her alone, sat her down, and nervously said I wanted to tell her something. She looked me right in the eye and said, if it's about a guy, I swear to God. I said, it's not. I mean, well, it is. It's about her guy. It's about her husband. Why would your mom say if it's about a guy, I swear to God?
Yeah, you're 18. Can you
Well,
not?
I think in this, they're younger than 18. This is before.
You got weird rules in your family. I'm slightly judging.
So here we,
that's not on you.
I said it's not, parentheses, I've never dated because my parents are very highly against it. Then I hesitantly told her everything. She was shocked and asked me to show her the texts and pictures. I did, and she kind of lashed out at me. Why'd you go through his phone? This is why I tell you to study hard so you don't end up like this. You don't study, never touch his phone again. I'll handle it. Never speak of this to anyone again. I said, okay. I felt relieved that the burden was off me. A few days later, my mom told me that it was none of my concern and it was work-related. Foreign people are just like that, she said.
Girl, what? What crazy thing has he been telling her that your mom is so like, no, that's like totally normal.
Dude, Pop's got your mom brainwashed right now. Get the hell out of here, OP. Try to tell your siblings this is not normal as well. And I don't know. You've got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders right now for yourself and for your siblings. But I'm going to break this to you right now based on everything I'm reading. Your parents are not treating you very well.
Not at all. Or each other very well.
Yeah. Oof. My mother isn't illiterate, but she isn't much interested in technology. I knew my dad had told her lies, and I wanted to tell her, but I chose not to. I checked his phone again, and nothing was there. I thought that was it. But then a year later, I went through his phone again, and it was a different girl from the USA. He called her Kat and had flirted with her. From the text, he went to the USA a few months later and met up with her. She even came to our country and he met up with her. But this time, the girl was really uninterested and didn't want anything to do with him. I could tell from the dry texts.
Wow, your dad doesn't even have game.
Dad can't even riz them up, dude. How embarrassing. He had even asked her if he could stay at her house, to which she denied and said she only has a room. My father shamelessly said he would sleep on the couch with a suggestive emoji. I was disgusted. I once again didn't know what to do, so I just deleted the chat permanently from his phone along with the number. I thought maybe he would get the hint and stop. The guilt ate me inside as I never told anyone about this. I thought that was the end, and I started to forget it and began being normal with my father until he decided to prove what a shameless jerk he is.
I don't like your dad, and I think he's the worst. Woo!
Yeah. 2 days ago, I was going through his phone again. I do have my phone. I just don't trust him. To my shock, he had a dating app. It was similar to Tinder, quite common in my country. I just want to pause here and say, OP, this is none of your responsibility. You don't have to continually check your father. You can already just say, my dad's kind of a scumbag. My dad's been cheating on my mom. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I tried to tell my mom about it, and she said, oh, that's just how Malaysians are.
I feel like OP is trying to just look out for their mom a bunch. It is not your responsibility, but at the same time, I think I'd be kind of like, how did you not believe him the first time? Like, I'm going to get you proof that this isn't like just a Malaysian thing.
Again, we're removed from the situation, so it's way easier for us to be like, oh, this is what you should do. But
we don't have the emotions in it.
You need to completely only worry about yourself. Worry about building yourself up, because I guarantee you, if your parents are this controlling, they are probably going to be controlling in that they don't want you to leave, because then you can be useful to them when you're at the house. You can do things. You can probably get money. You're probably giving money from whatever job you have is probably going back to them in some degree. So save up, make a financial plan. There's plenty of resources out there to learn about how to do that, and maybe find, a friend, a roommate, something, make a plan together. Get out of your house.
Get out.
I just wanted to give my dad the benefit of the doubt and think maybe he doesn't have a profile, but he did. Maybe he didn't text anyone. He did. He had texted 5 different women. It's a different thing that he was rejected by all of them. Good job, women. I am absolutely devastated now. I have no idea what to do. I deleted the app and his profile, but I can't just let it be anymore. It hurts me so much to see how he doesn't respect my mother or our family. My mother works so hard for him. It would break her and take away her reason to get up and do anything. So I don't want to tell her anything. This time, I want to talk directly about this to my father. I want to tell him that I know everything and I am effing disappointed in him. He always says to me that I'm so immature and that I need to grow up, and I can't effing wait to throw his words back at him. I've had enough. I have to take a stand for my mother, my siblings, and myself. And there's an update. I don't know if it's gonna go well.
I'm worried about you doing that. I don't think it's the wrong thing to do if you really want to do it, but I don't like how you've described your father as handling things, so this does worry me.
Yeah. Update. Well, I talked to my dad about it, and I can't effing believe this pathetic excuse of a man. 1, I'm just letting it be. I'm never gonna touch his phone again. 2, he gave me the same BS he gave my mom a few years ago. That's a USA app. I need it for my business. If it was that kind of app, I wouldn't have it. He thinks I'm freaking dumb. He was mad at me for going through his phone, but I just threw in, You go through mine all the time. And by the way, you can listen all the time to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime. We have a little bit more story left. Let's continue to get into it. I'm devastated right now. Honestly, I did see this as a possibility. I kind of expected it, but it still hurts. I don't think I can ever trust my father like before or be close to him anymore. But at least now he knows that I know, so maybe he can stop doing what he's doing. I just give up.
He's not going to stop.
He's not going to stop, and that's okay. It's not your fault, nor is it your responsibility. Again, it's time to focus on ourselves. I'm just going to let it be. I did what I could, and we have some comments here. Comment number 1, your mother is a lost cause. You just got to leave that alone. Just take her example and do not follow her way. Do the complete opposite of your mother. Be resolute in your boundaries. OP replies, fair enough. But to be clear, I do love both my parents, no matter how their personalities are. And I guess I sympathize with my mother as a woman. I'd never forgive if someone cheated on me. And yeah, you can still love your parents, but don't be around for all this. You can love them wherever you are.
It's time to remove yourself from at least this specific situation.
Comment 2 says, you can love people and not like them or like what they do. But there's also a measure of respect. Respect for themselves and respect for the people around them. Your dad especially doesn't respect his family at all. A third comment says, ouch. Yeah, this sucks. You're caught right in the middle of everything as you are the oldest sibling and female. I know that you feel like you need to be the one who has to take a stand for everyone. I get it because I was there too, but you really don't. This is your parents' mess, and as such, you probably won't be able to change much of anything. My best advice is to sit down with both parents at the same time and tell them both how you feel. It will be terribly awkward, but it will get you out of the middle and get how you feel off your chest. It will also show your dad that you are decidedly not immature, and that is the end of that story.
My cousin ruined Easter and tore our family apart.
The Easter bunny costume was all wrong, wasn't it?
That's exactly what it was. And they hid the eggs in the wrong spot.
They hid the eggs
the wrong basket.
In the freezer.
Frozen eggs. This happened last Easter, and my family is still divided. I'm a 24-year-old woman, and I have 8 younger cousins. I get along well with all of them, except the 13-year-old, who we'll call Chris. Chris is an only child and very spoiled. My aunt doesn't have many rules for him, and doesn't really care what he does. By the way, this comes from Booter Scooter 55. I'm so happy I got to say that. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, but you better have a fun name like that one. And I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, he also has some anger issues. If things don't go his way, he throws tantrums, growls, and even gets physical. When we play video games and he doesn't win, he starts growling and swearing. We have to take the controller away from him like a little kid, which causes my aunt to yell at us and make us turn the game off because it upsets Chris. For the past few years, I've thrown an Easter egg hunt for my 2 youngest cousins, who were 3 and 5 when I started. The first 2 years, Chris and my aunt didn't come, so I didn't have any issues and the kids loved it. This year, they came down, and I was debating whether to include Chris. I asked my mom what she thought, and she suggested that since Chris was too old, instead of excluding him, I could make him a goodie bag and have him help me hide the eggs. I thought this was a good idea since he's much older than the other 2 and doesn't know limits very well. I didn't want to find him throwing a tantrum if things didn't go his way. Fair. The day of the egg hunt, I gently told him the hunt was for the younger kids and that he could help me hide the eggs. I mentioned I had a goodie bag for him inside, but he threw a huge fit. He started getting physical, broke a bunch of the eggs, and wrecked one of the Easter baskets. When I told him to stop, my aunt got involved and gave me an earful. She said I shouldn't have excluded Chris and that I owed him an apology. Your son shouldn't have gotten physical over an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
My guy.
What are we talking about? Your son went on a rampage. Do you know how many tantrum rampages I went on at the age of 13? 0.
I was going to say goose egg, but in this case, Easter egg.
Yes. Egg. I went on egg number of tantrum outbursts. And this is, to be clear, really not his fault. It's probably just a behavioral issue. Young little teenage brains can be very complicated, especially now that they're just pumped full of digital media all the time. So it's something to be addressed.
Sounds like it's a known issue, though, so maybe his mom should have been getting him help for it.
Yeah.
If possible.
Instead, mom's like, nah, my kid's perfect and you all have the problem.
I refused, saying that if anything, he owed me an apology for wrecking everything. They left and my family is split. Some say I was in the right and my aunt needs to start disciplining him, but others say I should have just put him in the egg hunt to avoid drama. So am I the a-hole?
To be clear, it wasn't your freaking idea not to put him in the egg hunt, right?
She had come with the proposition that he was too old.
OP?
OP or OP's mom. They mutually discussed it.
I thought this was his mom. So I guess not.
No. So.
Okay, it wasn't, because I was so confused because I thought it was Chris's mom.
I asked my mom.
Okay.
And she suggested that.
To be fair, just to have him do the Easter egg hunt.
Not after he throws a fit and breaks everything.
Right.
But I feel like a quick call up to your aunt, text over to Chris or someone. Hey, I know you're 13 or your son's 13. Do you think he'd want to be in an egg hunt or do you think he'd want to help me hide the eggs?
Yeah, truly that's all it takes.
Yeah. Side note, Chris's dad left when Chris was born and hasn't been in the picture for years. We have an update. You got anything else? Should we just dive in?
Let's freaking go.
First, I'm going to clarify some things. The cutoff age for egg hunts in my family is 10 years. The eggs I was using were solid chocolate mini eggs, hollow chocolate eggs, and solid Reese's Pieces eggs. I only told him to stop and didn't do anything more because I was terrified of making my aunt mad. But she ended up being mad anyway. So we all think Chris might be on the spectrum, but my aunt says he's a perfectly normal kid and won't get him tested. My cousins and I are fine. My other aunt said they won't be coming over if Chris is there. My grandma gave Chris's mom an ultimatum to either get Chris tested or they'll be cut off and excluded from all family gatherings. My aunt refused, so they were cut off. Thanksgiving is coming up, and my mom wants to invite them. I told her not to since all they do is cause drama, and my other aunt and her kids won't come if Chris is there. But she said she can't just exclude them. Chris's mom also tried to blackmail me, saying that my siblings and other cousins are the only thing that Chris has close to siblings. I called her out on his behavior and said she needs to start being a parent and disciplining him. She told me to mind my own business and stop telling her how to parent her kid. I don't know if they're coming for Thanksgiving. My mom has her heart set on inviting them, but everyone else is saying not to. And we have another update. We'll just dive right into that one, too.
Yeah, let's get it.
My grandma found out that my mom was still planning on inviting my aunt, who we'll call Lucy, and Chris to Thanksgiving. She called my mom saying if she invited them, she and my grandpa wouldn't come. She told my other aunts and uncle, and they all agreed that if Chris and Aunt Lucy are there, they won't come. My other aunt, who we'll call Bella, called my mom saying, if you invite Lucy and Chris, we aren't coming. Chris hurt my kids and scared them. My kids don't feel comfortable or safe around him. My mom was crushed. I asked why she wanted to invite Aunt Lucy and Chris so badly. My mom said that her sister has always been difficult and that she feels guilty excluding her and Chris since his dad isn't in the picture. She feels bad that he doesn't have a dad in his life. Then my mom said she was going to secretly invite my aunt and Chris and not tell the others. No!
That's a terrible idea.
Bad idea. Go around your mom and tell them. I told my mom it was a bad idea and would cause even more drama. She said she didn't care and that if she's hosting, she gets to choose who to invite.
Yeah, and then people get to choose if they want to come or not.
Right. Yeah, you can invite whoever you want, but you need to deal with the consequences of inviting Chris and Lucy is that no one else is coming.
Or that they're going to show up and then they have to deal with they're here. Well, now everyone's leaving.
Yeah.
And that's going to feel even worse than having not been invited in the first place.
Yep.
So, God dang it. Your mom needs to sit down with her sister and have like a heart to heart and be like, look, your kid needs help. And I'm not saying this to put you down. I just want your kid to get the help he needs so that we can be a family again. Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Now I'm debating whether to tell my other relatives what my mom is planning or say nothing and pray she doesn't go through with it. My mom is really hard-headed, so I know there will be no talking her out of this. I have another update.
Me personally, I wouldn't say anything, and I'd be like, this is not my mess to deal with. I'm going to let my mom take point on this and deal with all of the repercussions herself.
Depends how involved you want to be, because if you do tell them, you're involved now.
Yeah, I personally don't want anything to do with it, but yeah, I wouldn't like being ambushed, but either way, this is just all on your mom. Your mom needs to be the one taking point on this.
It's also going to depend on like how far are these relatives coming from, because if they're coming like states away or it's a long drive, then I might be more inclined to be like, hey, before you make the long drive out here. Other option, everyone shows up, everyone sees that Chris and Lucy are there, everyone goes somewhere else. I ended up telling my relatives what my mom was planning.
Uh-oh.
They agreed not to tell her they knew and are planning on hosting a different Thanksgiving dinner at my grandma's house, which I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
Now, this is where things really went wrong.
Oh, no.
I thought they already went wrong, OP.
They're going wronger?
The other day, my grandma invited me, my siblings, and cousins out for a pool day. She didn't invite Chris since she cut off contact with my aunt at the end of last month. The day was fun and drama-free. The next day, however, my aunt was blowing up our phones and cussing us out. Somehow she found out about the pool day and was livid that we didn't include Chris. I'm guessing my mom told her since she's the only one who still talks to my aunt. My aunt even called my grandma and threatened her because she didn't include Chris. This made my Aunt Bella and Uncle Greg go off on her, calling her entitled and saying it's no wonder Chris turned out the way he did. They told her she needs help and that until she gets help for her and Chris, they don't want her around. They said they'd go no contact and get a restraining order if she keeps pestering them. My Aunt Lucy then doubled down and sent everyone pictures of Chris crying, saying, "You made him so sad he cried because he wasn't included." Everyone ended up blocking her except my mom.
Yeah, it's a real scumbag move to probably, first of all, explain to Chris that he was excluded and why he was excluded, because Chris would have never known. So you had to explain to him as his mother, and then in his emotional distress, you take a picture of it and use it to try to manipulate the other members of your family. You're a scumbag. And it really just goes to show you don't care about Chris. You care more about, I don't know, some sense of just like being involved or being right. I don't know what you care about, but you clearly don't care about your son.
Agreed. My aunt then went off on me, saying it must have been my idea to exclude Chris and that I'm a terrible cousin. She said if I didn't exclude him from the egg hunt, none of this would have happened. I told her that all this happened because she refused to get Chris help. I said it wasn't my fault no one wanted to be around him, and that if she got him tested and the help he needs, then maybe we'd want to be around him. I told her she needs to start being a parent and disciplining him. She told me to back off and mind my own business. I ended up blocking her as well. Then my mom went off on me for being disrespectful towards her sister.
Don't worry, your mom's just got some kind of complex with her sister.
Yeah.
Disregard this entirely.
I told her I was done being treated like the bad guy and that I was tired of my aunt berating me and blaming me for everything. My mom said I better start respecting my aunt and that families stick together. I left and things have been very tense since. The rest of my family says my aunt is at fault. They're still doing the other Thanksgiving at my grandma's and won't tell my aunt or my mom because they know my mom will tell my aunt and more drama will happen. I'm so stressed right now and dreading Thanksgiving. We have another update. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't tell them. I'm assuming OP's going to grandma Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that sucks to have to be in that position of like, now you have to keep a secret from your mom.
Yeah.
And your aunt and it sucks.
And your mom coming at you for that. It's just not fair. Update 4. I sat down and had a talk with my mom. I said I was tired of being treated like the bad guy and blamed for my aunt's behavior. I said it felt like she was always choosing my aunt over me, and it hurt when she blew up at me. My mom apologized for blowing up at me and forcing me to keep in contact with my aunt. She said I could block my aunt if I wanted and that her sister was out of line for yelling at me. She said she just felt guilty and stressed about everything. I asked her why she felt guilty, and she said she feels bad that Chris doesn't have a father figure in his life and that her sister isn't a very good parent. I told her I understood. I also told her I was worried that she could end up excluded from gatherings like my aunt. She said she was planning on going low contact with my aunt. I asked if she told my aunt about the pool day, and she admitted she did. She said she didn't see a problem with it and thought my aunt knew. She didn't think my aunt would go nuclear over it. She apologized again, and I forgave her. We had an intervention yesterday with my aunt. When she arrived, she wasn't happy. But my grandparents asked her to please listen. Everyone told her they were worried for Chris and his future, and that they didn't like how things had become and how far the family was being pulled apart. They also asked my aunt why she was so against getting Chris tested. She said she was worried that everyone would see him differently and that he would lose his friends.
Oh my God. Wake up and smell the roses, girl.
Right.
They already look at him differently, and he's already lost all of his cousins because of your refusal to help him.
Right. My grandma told her that it could help Chris and make things easier for both of them in the long run. My aunt thought about it, and she agreed to get him tested.
Good.
She said she was sorry for the drama Chris caused during the Easter egg hunt, and she even made Chris apologize to me and my younger cousins. My aunt also agreed that she would start being a better parent. And you should start listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a lot of episodes there for you to watch.
You better look it up. Okay, good things are happening. Like this?
Good things are happening.
Good.
I like that a lot. I'm so happy. Intervention, good.
Good.
Good. Had a little bit left. My Aunt Bella said she was proud of her for stepping up. My grandma said she was happy that everyone was getting along again. The topic of Thanksgiving came up, and my grandma said she'd host and that everyone was invited, including Aunt Lucy and Chris. Everyone is excited and looking forward to it. I'm happy my family is back to normal and there isn't any stress anymore. Everyone is glad my aunt is finally stepping up and being a parent and getting Chris the help he needs.
Yes.
That's the end of that story.